Hello, John. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Great. Elisha's doing really terrific. Thank you.
Be- Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you, my man. And you see, John, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, John, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, John, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, just recently, John, I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, John. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. There is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the incredible John that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your knowledge, your philosophies, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, John, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things John is doing. And not only me now, because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience too. And here we are today with the amazing John. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, John, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
You're welcome, Elijah.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, John, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, John, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible John on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, John, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. You want to know how John got here? Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, John, over to you.
Well, thank you, Elijah. I'm glad to be on here. Um, I think you know that our the focus of our company is really to help individuals grow and change, and we do that by helping them improve their what we call advanced communication skills through kind of two techniques: story listening and storytelling. And it's interesting, you started your this broadcast with the story of a mango tree. And you were trying to tell in that story that, sometimes we see things and we see it one way, and another time we see it, it's grown and we see it a different way. And
That's right.
our our philosophy is centered around the 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 idea that the world of work and the world is changing dramatically. And it's changing based on really two macro factors. One is that technology is moving so very, very, very fast. And one of the things technology is doing is allowing content to be spread, content to be spread in a huge, in almost an unthoughtful, unimaginable way. And I heard a speaker a couple of weeks ago who said that in 2010, there was 5 gigabytes of data in the world. And it's like 5
Wow.
libraries of Congress in the United States. And today, there are 400 gigabytes of data being produced every day.
Tell
And
you. Mm.
so part of the challenge that people have is they don't have enough time. There's so much information out there, and we're tied to our devices. And although that's in some sense it could be productive, in some senses it can be not productive. And what we believe that one of the things that's happening in the world, we're missing the human connection, and we're not really understanding people at a deep enough level. We call it story listening or transformational listening. And then, because we don't have time and because we don't listen, we try to tell them what to do. And nobody past the age of 6 likes to be told what to do. And so what we try to help people in helping people grow and change and inspire others, we teach them a model called a dynamic communications model, because we think communications are more dynamic today. And we teach them how to apply the skills of story listening for deeper understanding of anybody they need to work with. And then, can I inspire them to take action and get success? If it's an individual, can I inspire them to change and grow? If it's in a company, can I inspire them to serve their customers better? And so the whole focus is on helping individuals and companies grow through the medium of advanced conversations, and realizing that in every conversation and in every relationship, things are moving so quickly today. And we've got to make them more dynamic, and we've got to be better listeners. And then instead of telling people what to do, we have to do what you did. Tell them the mango tree story, to getting people to think about, I saw that yesterday. Maybe I should look at it differently. Maybe I looked at the negativity of it. Maybe I look at the beauty of it. So our whole idea of our company is around trying to help people do that. And it's been a passion of mine throughout my career and my life, is focusing on how do I serve other people and how do I help them grow and change so they can be more successful in the way they want to be successful.
Mm. Awesome, John. This is profound, and I tell you, you're doing such a great job, I tell you. And we need many folks like you in the world, because helping people develop themselves and change, and this storytelling and story listening, I found it very profound. And the way you explained it, not so beautiful. So I've got some questions here, all right? So what has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
Well, it's what I said earlier. The thing that gets me excited is when we have individuals either come to our workshops, we do open workshops, we do coaching sessions, and it's when they learn and apply these advanced skills of communication, and they come back to me and say, oh my gosh, I have a gentleman who came back to me the other day, and most of what we do is applied to the business world. But he came back to me and said, I used the story listening process communicating with my wife the other night, and I had the most beautiful, deep conversation that I've ever had in a
Wow.
long time. And
Awesome.
what gets me excited is when individuals have they apply the concepts that we have into individual interactions, and they have a deeper, more profound, meaningful interaction. And that's what it could be inspiring somebody to do something in business. But when individuals, and many individuals, and um, many of our people come out of our training workshops, coaching sessions, say, my God, this has changed how I look at people and how I think about people and how I interact with people. And we know that if your listeners are faithful people or not faithful people, I always say that if you look at Jesus, you can look at him. If you're a faithful person, you look at him one way. If you're not a faithful person, you should still look at him as a leader, because he spent only 3 years,
Right.
and after
Yeah.
2,000 years, he's influenced 2 billion people, inspired 2 billion. So if you look at him as a leadership, but there's two things which he did, which I think are we could model. One is he always understood people. And today we don't have the time. One of the things we know in our subconscious brain, all of us have stories. You have stories about your past. You have stories about what happened in Nigeria. You have stories, why are you a bishop? You have stories, why are you ambassador? You have a story. And we don't have the time to hear those stories. When you can listen to those stories, you develop a different, profound relationship with somebody. And so what really gets me excited is in our corporate customers, we actually, from a corporation who spend a lot of money with us, we give them a money back guarantee. But I like to see companies get ahead. But what really gets me excited is when an individual comes to me, like this guy Sam did. Sam Money is his name. Sam said, I had the most profound conversation with my wife that I've had in 6 or 7 months. I need to use these techniques all the time, not just. And so that's what really gets me excited about individuals who make a major change and see something remarkable in their life. They see the other side of the mango tree.
Awesome, awesome, and I got that. That's a beautiful one. You see, that's the impact I was talking about earlier. It's profound, and I love it. So, but I'm still a bit curious. All right. So I want to know what really inspired you to focus on personal connections and communication.
Well, there are two sort of answers to that question. One is come from a military family, and I went to the United States Military Academy at West Point, and then I was in the military for 6 years, was a leader, and then I got out into corporations, and I went from sales, and then I was the president of a public company, and I ran several companies. And one of the things that I realized over this tenure and observation is that groups of people are doing well when they have a good strategy. So if you're playing a sport or whatever, you have to have a good strategy. But they're also succeeding when there are strong personal connections and when they're inspired by communications. And so that's an observation that I've had in my brain for quite a while. And I think I told you, well, I didn't tell you, but I went to a seminar about macro trends, and I saw these two macro trends happening: the fast pace of technology and multiple generations in the workforce. That, at least in the United States, they have different ideas. So I'm a baby boomer, and a Gen Z, they have different values. They grew up differently. And so what I saw was the opportunity for a lot of miscommunication and disconnection, which was going to lead to the dark side and not the light side. So that was one kind of thought process. But what really got me thinking about doing what we're doing is my first partner and I, we studied this, and we did field research for 3 years trying to prove that there were a lot of darkness in the world of work versus light. And we also studied a lot of ideas about how to solve this. And we came upon the breakthrough idea came from the intersection of brain science, neuroscience, and behavioral economics. And those two bodies of knowledge have had some significant, dramatic improvements over the last 15 years with the advent of the fMRI. Because before the fMRI, you could only study the brain forensically, somebody who's dead, or somebody who had a head injury. Now I can put you in an fMRI and ask you questions. And unlike listening to this, you can see what's happening in my brain. And what we uncovered was 3 breakthrough ideas that led us to storytelling and story listening. One of those breakthrough ideas was that the subconscious mind is the largest and most powerful part of our brain. Think about it. It causes you to breathe. It causes you to eat. It causes you to do a lot of things, your subconscious. But it also is very impactful in how we make decisions. And the subconscious brain does not deal in facts and figures. The subconscious brain deals in emotions and stories and pictures. And so if you're trying to talk with somebody and understand them, you want to tell them, use metaphors of stories, emotions, and pictures, or you want to listen to their emotions and pictures. The second idea of the subconscious brain is that the subconscious brain sabotages us when we're listening. And if people understood why it was sabotaging us, we would all become much better listeners. And the third breakthrough idea is that nobody likes to be told what to do. So if you take those 3 breakthrough ideas around the power of the subconscious mind, now we can't get everybody thinking about that every day. What we did is we invented something we call the dynamic communications model, which is a model of how do you have a conversation and how do you build a relationship, and when do you need to use story listening and storytelling. And the way we do that, through stories and through feelings and emotions and pictures, connects automatically at a deeper level with your subconscious brain. And it was that, I thought there was going to be a big problem of darkness in the world. And then we found this profound idea of if we could start talking with people, and it's through what you did, telling the story about the mango. That's more impactful than you telling me about, hey, you see something and you might not see it right. I don't get that, but I get the story. And so those 2 things got me fired up about, how could we help people? Number one, how could I improve? How can I continuously and grow, improve as an individual? And then could we build something that made it easy for everyone to be able to apply this if they wanted to, and to dramatically improve their ability to connect with people, understand them, and then inspire them. So that's kind of that's where it all came from, the genesis of that. And why? Why? So people could be more successful, and so we could all listen to each other more thoughtfully. And I'm sure you and I have a lot of disagreements on things, but what I need to do is learn to listen to you. So anyway, I'm sorry for the long
Profound.
answer.
Nah, nah, nah. I love the fact that you took your time and you've answered most of my questions, but one, okay? And that was a beautiful one, my man. Thank you so very much. You see, it's amazing when I see folks dedicated to improving the world, because just like you mentioned, we have a lot of darkness in the world in many sectors, in many aspects of the world, series of places. We have a lot of dark power, evil people, folks who they know that this is the right thing to do, but they decided not to do the right thing for selfish reasons. A lot of people that are under the demonic influence. So when I see people who believes in Jesus and are doing this wonderful stuffs, I get really excited. So I've got to say you're doing a fantastic job, and that was a great discovery. Thank you so very much, my man. So finally, all right, what is next for CI2? I mean, where is it headed in the nearest future?
Well, that's a great question. So when I talk about the fast pace of technology, I believe, and I've been in the technology business for some 30 years, I believe we all have to keep up with new technology. And I think we have to learn to apply it in the right way for our own use, productivity and success, et cetera. So where CI2 Advisors is going, we launched last year a tool, an engine called the AI Story Builder. And at the end of October of this year, we're launching a completely new version that is something called Agentic AI. And
Mm-hmm.
what it'll be able to do is allow people to take our training on demand. So you don't have to come to a training course or whatever. and then use the AI tool where it makes sense in your workflow to build the type of stories you need to be more compelling in your work,
Wow.
and also to practice listening and apply these listening skills at the key meetings and times that you have. And so we're combining the what I say we do is we really work on the two most important human skills there are. How do you deeply listen and understand somebody? And then how do you inspire them, right? With a powerful message. Those are the two most important, but we're going to be doing it more with an on-demand AI agentic tool where you can use it when you want to engage in your workflow. And I think this combination of AI and human skills, so we're applying AI to help you build and use these human skills more productively and more often, much easier than having to go to a training course. So that's the next frontier for us is and we
Wow.
think that doing that will allow us to reach a lot more people who, for example, I would invite you to come to one of our workshops for free and I'll offer to your audience as well. The challenge, if they're in the United States, then there's no time difference. For you to come, you have this time difference. And so what we're trying to do is break that time and spread the ability to get to more people and more people to understand the models and then practically use the models to make a difference in their life and other people's lives.
That's so
So that's what's
profound. How
next.
did you come up with that? That's beautiful, I tell you. What a wonderful solution. Nah, nah, nah. I've got a clap for you.
Well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, my man. So to bring this to an end, John, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to, reach out to you, learn more about your beautiful company, or even make a purchase of your resources or programs or upon some of your stuffs, how can that be possible?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say to your audience that the ability to communicate more effectively with story listening, the ability to listen and hear other people's stories with eliciting emotion and feelings, you will build profound relationships and it'll be more successful, be more fulfilling and successful. And then learning to tell stories that are compelling and interesting at the right moment can help you really profoundly become more successful and a much better human. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to ask, you can go to our website and we'll put it on the recording as well, www.ci2advisors.com, to look at our information. If you click on our open workshops, what I'd like to offer your listeners is a complimentary coupon to, we have a workshop on storytelling and story listening. They cost $500 each, but I'd like to offer them a complimentary coupon where they can come to one of those for free and experience the workshop itself. And in that, you will get access to the AI Story Builder. So my message to
Oh,
all of you is we can all continue to grow and change. We can all bring more light in the world by understanding people deeper and not telling them what to do, trying to inspire them. And I'd like to spread that to all of you who are interested in taking that and would like to interact with you and know you more and try to help you succeed, I guess is my real message.
beautiful, beautiful. That's awesome. Thank you so very much, John. So, and that's so generous of you. I truly appreciate that. So that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming, my man, and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're a great host. And I hope that God blesses you and loves you and you continue to follow Jesus Christ.